Hey ladies and gentlemen, my name is Wendy Oduor with the Kraal, and welcome to CHOP&TALK. And this is where we're literally gonna chop, which is eat for the non-Africans watching, and talk about African topics and also Black affairs discussion. And today I have two guests with me who are going to help me dive into the topic for the day. So without further ado, let us, tell us who you guys are.
Hi, my name is Ekua. I am the creator of Afrolit podcast and an entrepreneur. I also work in public relations, so I'm excited to be here with Wendy. Thank you for bringing me on.
Welcome.
Hello, how you doing? My name is KOS. I'm the founder of Willowbook La Familia and the co-CEO of Willowbook La Familia.
Awesome. Well, welcome you guys, and thank you so much for joining us. So today, the topic of the day is Africa a trend? So I'll start off by asking, is Africa a trend? What do you guys think?
I feel like it could be a yes and no. It's very debatable because I think depending on where you're looking at it, at least from my standpoint, of course, it's no, because that's my culture, it's my heritage. But, when we look at just basic economics or how people are really buying the shikis or going to see, One Africa Music Fest, it's very much so a money-making thing right now. So you could potentially say that Africa is currently trending. Okay. Natural hair movement for Black women is trending. So I think only time can tell if the trend now is over, if people will still be investing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback on what she said. I would also say a no, because I am African. So I've always been a part of my culture, what I am and what I do and what I'm around. But I guess out west now it's a trend. Everybody wants to get dashikis and get everything Africa. But my whole question always to myself is, are they really investing the time in learning? Because we all African, we all wear our dashikis different, cut it up different, design it different. And it goes the same for music we listen to and movies we watch. It's 54 countries. So it's not only like one place where you can get the so-called trend. You got 54 options of different things to do. So I would say for me personally, I don't like to look at it as a trend, but I guess out west it is.
Okay, so you guys kind of touched on what I'm going to talk about. So there's actually a video that has been trending on Facebook, and it's like, are young Black Americans treating Africa as a trend? So with that being said, when we used to be younger, at least for me when it came to, America, we used to be called names like African booty scratcher and things like that. But now, but now it's like, wait, I want to rock the dashikis, I want to do the braids. Or actually, let's even just talk about Black Panther. Like now people are like, really, I want to be African, like Africa. Right, so is it, even if it's just the West, like because you guys have said like it's not a trend, but in the West it is. Basically, so is it with the African Americans, or is it, with others?
It's interesting because I feel like it's both ways. Like I think that Africans are also using this as an opportunity, like, oh, let me sell some prints that I have in my closet. Let me make something happen. Let me use this opportunity to really like hone in on my culture. Where at the same time, there's African Americans who kind of feel like now they can finally connect with the continent, and I don't know if they're being authentic to that connection, as you kind of said. Are they doing that background research, or are they just going to their local Chinatown and buying a dashiki that hasn't even been made in the continent? You know what I mean? So it requires a lot more depth to the story. Like, yes, it can be trending in the West, but I think the problem with trends is that no one really cares to do the background story or the background check. And I think when it comes to at least Africa, because it's a continent, it's really important, because we were having this conversation earlier. I really do truly believe that cultural specificity is a form of respect. So if you're saying like, oh yeah, I want to go to the motherland, I want to go to Africa, be specific about where you want to go, which culture you're trying to learn, because no one makes that same generalization for like North America or even like Southeast Asian countries.
Yeah, that's true. What are your thoughts?
I think it's just they've been told that this is not their home for a long time, and they believe that this is their home, meaning stating the United States or Europe. They think, not all, but the majority of them think this is their home. And when the president or whoever's in charge in your local supermarket or store looks at you like you don't belong, you start to do research on where you belong. But then what it is for us Africans I was born here but grew up in Senegal and came back here, like when I came back here I had to fight and physically do stuff just to defend who I am. And I'm fighting people who look like me. Just because we don't have the same name doesn't mean like you're not one of us, because sometimes you can sit with somebody in a class, like like the first day of school, everybody start walking in. In the late 90s, early 2000s, it wasn't much Africans around like the school I was in. It wasn't. But through middle school, high school, you start to see more. Everybody walk in, and you're like, in your head, you're like, oh, that's African. That person's African. That person's African. Teachers start naming names, you're the only African again. Maybe it's one other person. You know what I mean? I think it's just that they're starting to realize that this is not their home. This is really nobody's home but the Native Americans who are here. That's what I personally believe. And now they're starting to see like, okay, where are my ancestors from? Which roots? You know what I mean? And I guess it goes the same for me for the West Indians also. Because to me, West Indians are African, and now they're also starting to move back and stuff like that. So I just feel like this is not, they're realizing it's not their home.
I think that's a good point. They definitely are realizing, because I feel like, Africans, we are proud of our culture. And I think when I say trend, it's more like sometimes celebrities can do things and it's like, it catches fire. So it's like, what's going on? So for me now, it's like, where do we draw the line in differentiating like individuals who actually want to connect and versus, I'm gonna just wear this dashiki because Beyonce rocked one last week. You know what I'm saying? Like, where do we draw that line? Do we, should we always react to things like that?
I think in this time of age we're at, we need to stop kind of reacting negatively. And start to teach. And start to realize like, okay, even if this person is faking it, let's teach them something so real that they eventually realize like, oh man, this is actually cool. Like, let me invest my time and learn. And it always goes back to, just like you said, like in the entertainment business, where like a movie or a music video or whatever, probably the majority of the behind the scenes people don't care what they have. They just have to wear it. You know what I mean? But it's that job for that main artist or that main actor to really put that energy and effort into what they're doing. And then from there, you'll be like, oh, this is cool. You know what I mean? So I think it's just all based on, we should just like not worry about who really cares and who really don't, and just teach, because we have so much rich history and culture where we're all from. You know what I mean? That it's just time to really teach, even if this generation might not seem to care, the next might.
And even to, add to what you're saying, I think they do this, some celebrities do this because they know they're going to get the reaction. So for example, when Kim Kardashian or any of them put on braids, and they know that they're culturally appropriating, they know that there's a huge history behind it, and they're looking for that crazy, angry reaction. But I think it would be so interesting if we all agreed, like, you know what, she's gonna do that for the reaction, let's not react. Let's just have it be like she gets like her average comments, people loving it, and then people just say, do you realize, like, those are cornrows, it's not whatever you're calling it. You know what I mean? And then it's like, she's not getting the reaction she wanted, so she's probably not going to do it again.
And we're actually going to get into on the part 2 of this topic, but my thing is like, how, like, when you guys see things like that, does it bother you? So when we see someone with like the African beads or the braids, besides like reacting, because that's like the first flight or flight reaction. But how can we not, especially in the age of social media, Kim Kardashian posts braids, everyone goes crazy. If I post braids, it's normal. Like, why can't I get like the buzz? Why can't I get on Breakfast Club? Oh, Wendy got braids. Like, what's up with that? What's the difference? Like,
I think because the thing is, you're being genuine about who you are, so you can't you know, it's not anything new to you, you know, and like this is, as we've said, it's a part of our culture, it's a part of our heritage. And I won't even lie to you, I didn't see braids or even people wearing African print as a form of cultural appropriation for quite some time. I needed to do my own research on it simply because like I never felt like something was being stripped of me when Kim, exactly, when Kim or any of these people were putting on the braids. And it's when I had a conversation with a friend of mine who kind of laid to me that because of the history behind how African Americans have been here and like having them being stripped of their blackness and of their Africanness, for like, you know, lack of a better word, when celebrity, like, you know, when we do these, or like when we have braids, it's considered as like ghetto or not as professional, but like they're allowed to walk down Rodeo Drive in like cornrows, you know? So it's like, I guess this debate about what is seems to be respectable, you know? Like for you wearing braids, yes, it's respectable now, but like 15, 20 years ago in America, probably not, you know? So I think it's just also a form of just understanding that, hey, if she's able to be assertive and still be a complex being wearing cornrows, I shouldn't be labeled as like disrespectful or hoodish or, you know, ratchet if I have the same sort of style too.
I don't really feel any type of way anymore. I'm kind of just at a point where I'm like just fed up. I mean,
it's a lot. It's a lot of reaction every single time.
Every single time, and growing up around a lot of African Americans and a lot of West Indians, a lot of Spanish people in Harlem, we literally grew up from kindergarten to where we're at now. And over the years, it started with jokes, to friendship, to love now. And they actually tried my mom food, and they actually seen my parents wear African clothing. Me wear, like, yo, I want that. It's gonna match with my Jordans and stuff like that. So I feel like the more you're around certain people, you know if it's genuine. Now, if you go into certain communities and see it, and you just see somebody have on a dashiki, pump up a fist, and this and that, yes, I understand your message. But sometimes you might be overdoing it. In some senses, because you gotta remember, you're representing 54 countries, so not one issue is probably everybody's problem or issue. Understand? Especially in America, you got your own issues. So you pump in Africa this, Africa that. In Africa, they got sometimes worse issues, and that same energy you're spending here. Take a flight over there and pump fists and protest with the people over there who are now starting to protest because they see the Americans doing it here. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm just at a point where, look, we just gotta teach. Like that's just all it is.
Well, you guys are definitely touching on what we're gonna discuss in part 2. So we're gonna wrap up this session and continue on the next episode. But thank you guys so much for your insightful discussion and points.
No problem.
But thanks again. And guys, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, share, like, and be updated because we're going to have more and more topics coming your way, and we're gonna just enjoy talking about African affairs and Black culture. Bye, and I'm Wendy with the Kraal.